So this is unfortunately where Joe has broken his collarbone on the Silver Comet Trail. Joe, how's your shoulder feel?
It hurts bad.
From Greenville, South Carolina. Good job, Ryan. Took those guys doing under 4 hours. Luke Wilson, he's only 40 years old.
What is up, YouTube? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. For those that are new to the channel, I am Joe Wilson, just your average dumb triathlete trying to make videos related to triathlon, whether swimming, biking, running. You can find all those cool things right here on this channel. And guys, I'm typically on Instagram, Triathlon Joe. Don't forget to follow me, all that crazy stuff there. But I wanted to put together a race report for Ironman Chattanooga 70.3 because this one was special to me. So as some of you guys know, I broke my collarbone back on October 20th last year. I'm 49 years old. Not a lot of 49-year-olds breaking collarbones. So yeah, that put me in a spot. I mean, I was supposed to be doing a 70.3 in South Carolina, and then the following week I was going to be doing an Ironman in Florida. I mean, I was in probably the best shape of my life, even better than when I was at Kona. Or when I did Kona in 22, or even when I qualified for Kona in 21. I was like, I had just done a marathon and a relay and was like, let's go, baby. And then all that came crashing down on October 20th. I mean, it was my fault. You know, I was out with a buddy. We were riding bikes and I was filming, not paying attention, and went off on the side of the Silver Comet Trail here in Georgia. So my fault, totally my fault. But it put me in a dark spot because you know when you're at the top of your game, right, and then you can't work out. I mean, I've been working out religiously since the end of 2013 when I got a bike and started running and swimming, and stuck sitting on the couch watching everybody do stuff, and couldn't do anything, and then like I became a different person, and people that was interacting with me, I'm not going to go into details, but I was at the lowest of my low. People started falling off. People that I really cared about was just like, I'm good. And it put me in a dark spot. I mean, and then winter came and I couldn't do anything other than go to the gym and walk at 3 miles an hour on a 10% incline and ride my bike with a pillow on the trainer. That's all. I mean, and there was nobody to hang out with. So, and I didn't have a triathlon. All I had was my social media. So I appreciate everybody following me, giving me encouragement. You don't know how much that meant to me because, yeah, I was in a bad spot. So, but I told myself, hey, you know what? It's going to get better. It didn't feel like it was going to get better, but I said, I'm going to fight this and I'm going to win. And I said, I sit on the couch downstairs and I said, I'm going to have some lofty goals. I'm going to run a marathon in February. I'm going to qualify for Boston. I did that. I want to run sub 3. I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to do that this year. I want to run sub 3 when I turn 50. And I said, I will come back with a vengeance because you don't count me out. And I said, my first triathlon was going to be Ironman 70.3 Chattanooga. I had opportunities to do other races, but that was the race that I was going to do. And I had one goal, and that was to PR. And at 49 years old, or 50 years old, I've been doing this race. This is my number 9th time. And my goal was to PR and win the age group. And I trained like a madman. I mean, the abs were popping. And so at one point, I really couldn't work out enough. I would almost close down the gym at 10 o'clock in January, February, mainly because I just wanted to be around people and just like push myself. Random people were coming up to me in the gym saying, you're an inspiration. They didn't know me. They're like, I've been watching you run around and you're like getting after it. Yeah, I mean, so anyway, so I knew Chattanooga was my race to come back. That was my comeback race. This is my comeback tour. This is my kick-ass comeback tour. And so I knew Chattanooga was my race. And, just like normal, I get up there and, I love the city. It's a great, if you've never done the race up there, it's a great city. People welcome you, except for Walker County. That's where we ride our bikes. But for the most part, everybody is very welcoming, and there's a ton of triathletes, and we kind of all take over the downtown area over by the river. I mean, it's nothing but triathletes, a whole bunch of dorks wearing wristbands and, Ironman tattoos and, calf sleeves. That's all of us. We're all thinking we're better than we are, but we're all just a bunch of dorks. And so get up there on Friday, and the first thing I've been told is
the swim is canceled.
Now, some of you guys know my joke is the swim is canceled, right? I always tell people, hey, get in your 8-hour runs and 4-hour bikes. Don't worry about the swim because it's going to be canceled. It's a joke, okay? It's like, to me, saying the swim is canceled is like, hey, just worry about what you can control, right? Don't listen to random people on the internet, including myself. You should be like vetting any kind of information you ever get from anybody. And so you get up there. So a friend of mine who works for Ironman, she calls me at noon and is like, the swim is canceled. And I'm like, no effing way. The swim is canceled. We've had a lot of rain here the last couple weeks. I'm sure if the race was this weekend, not last weekend, the race would have gone on without a hitch, But because we had a lot of rain and the river's dammed, so it didn't look that bad. It wasn't as high as it normally was, but the flow was really, really high. And so that's dangerous. You can't really get in the water with the swim. So what do you do as a triathlete? You roll with the punches, baby. We can all sit here and pout and be like, oh my goodness, woe's me. But I tell everybody, it's like, the swim is the easiest part of the triathlon for the most part. It's the bike and the run. And in Chattanooga, that's a tough bike. It's a tough run. I mean, it's an honest course. And so I just show up and do the race I'm given. That's my goal. So wasn't going to PR, but I was going to give it everything I had. Saturday, with a friend of mine with Quava Designs, we organized a Triathlon Joe shakeout run. And man, let me just tell you, I thought maybe like 10, 15 people would show up. It was supposed to be at 7:30 in the morning. And the goal was to get people together. And I've been to races before that you didn't know who was who, and you might be there by yourself. So it's a way to get everybody together and go, do a shakeout run. And maybe you meet somebody, So I'm thinking maybe like there's going to be 10, 15 people there. We'll have some donuts, some coffee. And I show up. The runs at 7:30, and there was probably 50 people there at 7:15, and I'm like, holy cow. So I want to thank everybody that came out to that. That was amazing. I think we should do it again somewhere. I'm going to do a Louisville, and maybe we'll do a shakeout run there. So if you guys think that's a good idea, let's start. Let's make a trend, or what's the word? I don't know. Maybe let's start something with that. The triathlon joke. It doesn't have to be a triathlon joke. It could just be anybody's shakeout run. So that was really, really cool. So thank you if you came out to the crazy shakeout run. That was awesome. The rest of the Saturday, I'm not going to bore you guys, but I will say that I was sick the whole weekend, but I was not going to miss this race. And so Sunday morning, I woke up and I was like, what can I do? Let's just get going, because the swim was canceled. The race was going to start later. Normally, I'm up at 4 a.m. and then down in transition at 5. We're on the bus at 5:30. I'm lining up around 6:15, jumping in the water at 7:05, and then we are going. But with the swim being canceled, they're going to start the pros at 7:04 or 7 o'clock. We'll just say 7:10. They want to start the pros at 7:10. 1 every 15 seconds. And so for them, it was a time trial start. They're not used to that. They're used to mass starts. Age groupers, we're all used to time trial starts. Anyway, so I knew I'd have some time in transition to kind of catch my breath and get ready and everything like that. And so I did. I was talking to a bunch of people, having a good time. I love race morning, And so I'm doing all that, and then all the pros go, and then next thing I know, we're lining up, getting ready. And my friend McLeod, JoJo, he and I had similar numbers, and so we're like, hey, we'll just pace each other, on the race. Let's see how long one of us falls off before one of us falls off. So and when I say pace, look, 12 meters, you can still get a draft. I've done this many, many times, so I don't cheat. And what I will say is that if you have somebody in front of you that's stronger than you are, and you can sit 12 meters back, 12, 15 meters back, you still get a little bit of a draft. That's why Challenge wants to set it at 20 meters for everybody, because at 20 meters you don't get a draft. 12 meters, you maybe get like 2 or 3%, draft, and you have somebody you can track off of. And if you watch the pros, they do that all day long. They'll have like a train of like 20 people, and that guy in the back he's not pedaling as hard as the guy on the front is. Anyway, so JoJo and I came out, and I had a little bit of mechanical issues, not gonna lie. I went from a 1x to a 2x. I probably should have raced before Chattanooga, but I was like, you know what, this is gonna be it. And so we go out, and it's just like, I had a higher number because I was not AWA. I didn't get the participation award this year. I was not AWA, and so by the time we started, I was 750 and he was 752. So between, call it, say, 150 and 750, there was probably already 500-600 people on the course. And we said, hey, let's just go out hot as hard as we can. Let's go. And that's what we did. I mean, I pushed. My heart rate was running 170. I was running 170 the first 29 miles. And we were just like mowing people down, left, right, not pulling anybody with us. We were just mowing people down, trying to get through as many people as we could. And, in the past, I've done really well here. I've actually had the 12th fastest bike split here before in 21. And I'm stronger now than I ever was. But that's not what happened on Sunday. But anyway, so we're riding, and then at Andrews, you turn around, that's about mile 29. It's like mile 26, and you get back and you start going back into town around mile 29. And we start catching up to some people that's a little bit faster. But around mile 29, they had moved the water stop about a half a mile earlier. And when I went to grab a bottle, somebody didn't let go. And I will say that was probably the scariest I've ever been in a race, because my friend JoJo said that both my wheels came off. He said both my wheels came off, and I was 45-degree angle. And I come to terms with me going down, but for some reason, somehow, I didn't go down. I don't know if somebody was out there watching over me or whatnot, but like I had a guardian angel, but I did not go down. I don't know how I didn't. But anyway, so we go back, and the course is, out and back. It's like a lollipop. And so we're going back into town, or going back into Chickamauga. And I mean, we're just rolling. And I'm like, okay, this is good. I'm pushing 260 watts. I mean, like, I pushed 235 last year and I went 218. This year I pushed 260 watts, 30 watts higher. The bike was humming, and I come into Chickamauga. I drop JoJo like at the last climb, go back into town. I shut it down a little bit. Probably could have been 215, but I wanted to save the legs. I come off the bike, and not only was I not in the top 3 of the age group, I would have thought that I would have had the fastest bike split. Last year I had the second fastest bike split, maybe third, I can't remember. But I've never been worse than 5th off the bike, and I've had the fastest bike split there before. And I come off the bike, and my friend says, and I start running, and I'm like, I'm feeling good. And he says, you're in 7th place in your age group. And I'm like, what the? I mean, I was like, I literally said W2F, and it wasn't those initials either. And he's like, calm down. It's my old coach. He's like, calm down. Let the field come back to you. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna run. And I've put in a lot of miles, and I've done a lot of visualization of this race over the last 6-7 months. I've said, I'm gonna give this race more than I've ever given it before. And I've won my age group here twice before. I was 18, I finished 7th overall. And I said, let's go. And I started running, get up on the go up the hill. First mile was my slowest mile. I did a 7:01 on that first mile. And then I started ticking them off. And I was like, this feels really, really good. And which that's been that way in the first before. And like I'm running and people are like high five, calling my name. And I'm like, I appreciate that. If you see me out there and you call my name, you just don't know how much power that gives me. It's like, that's a pick me up. I love to run around other people. I feel that energy, and it just like it gives me a big boost. So if you throw my name out, thank you very much. I truly appreciate it. Anyway, I do the first lap, come off the bridge. Nobody's there to give me splits, and I'm like, it's a time trial start, so I don't know if I'm running the field down or if I'm going slower or if I'm not in the top 5. I'm like, I want to be on the podium. I've been on the podium every year since 2018, and I barely missed it in 2017 by 45 seconds, but whatever. And I start running that second lap, and I'm still feeling good. I'm like, look, take all that aggression from this winter that I built up. It's probably not good for me, but I'm like, I'm just going to let it all out right there. And I just started running. I got up on the highway the second lap, and I'm passing people, and people were like, yeah. And I'm like, this hurts, but it doesn't feel like it's in the past. And I'm like, I'm pushing like mid 6s. And then I turn around, and there's this younger kid, and all these people are calling my name, and I'm high-fiving people. And he says, man, there's a lot of people that know you. And I was like, I got a little mad. And I was like, yeah, man, why not, Anyway, I was like, I'm not going to let this dude pass me. And so I just took off, and I started leaning into it, like really leaning into it. And I'm like, just get to battery. Just get to the top of battery. Because when you get to battery, you can recover on the bridge because there's a breeze, and it feels cool. And then you go down North Shore, and you're back up the bridge. And then that's it. Like, once you get to the bridge, that's a tough stretch. I'm like, this is it. This is it, baby. And then I start running, and because the way the bridge is, there's so many people cheering you on at the end of the bridge because it was closed. They couldn't be on the bridge, but they were into the bridge. So I come down, and what I love about Chattanooga is once you get off that bridge the second time, it is all back downhill. And so I make that curl, and I'm like, let's just go for it. Let's gas it. And so like I'm running. And I just run all the way down, see people. And I see the finish line, and I'm like, you can do anything for a half a mile. I've run a sub 5 that last little section through there, 2017, and I just gassed it. And I ran through the finish line, and I looked down, and my watch ran 1:27. That's 4 minutes faster than last year, and I was like, wow, that felt good. Yeah. I mean, and so I went 2:16 on the bike, 1:27 on the run. Total time was like 3:46. You add in the swim last year, another 3 minutes, 30 minutes, triathlete math. That's maybe a 4:20. I would have really been happy with that. And so I looked down the results, and I guess I ran from 7th place in the second place in over the 13 miles. I couldn't catch my buddy Jade. He ran faster than me, but I feel like I closed the gap a little bit because he ran a lot faster than me every other year than this year. He only ran a minute faster than me. I'm not going to consider the bike because the bike to me is a whole nother issue. Anyway, it was a great race. And if you ever want to do Chattanooga or ever want to do a 70.3, I highly recommend Chattanooga. I promise you the swim will never be canceled ever again. It was a fluke thing. It is kind of funny though, because we do have shirts to say the swim is canceled. But man, what a race. What a race. It's a comeback, and I feel like I'm back now. I feel like I'm 100%. I didn't do any PT. I said, screw that. I said, we're just gonna wheel ourselves back to 100%. When the first few times I saw the doctor, he was like, "You're way ahead of where you should be." He's like, "Don't do any more than you're doing." And then I said, "Okay." And then the next time I saw him, he's like, "You'll be 100% in April." No, baby, I was 100% in January because no, I don't take any I will fight. Like, you get one body, baby. And that's it. And so I told myself, you're going to get back to 100%. Does it feel perfect? No. I mean, I have some nerve ending, that probably never heal. I mean, I don't feel here. I mean, my ex-wife probably says I never felt there. But, yeah. So, that's it. Anyway, next big Ironman race is going to be... Oh, and by the way, I also qualified for Worlds 771 euros later, but I'm going to go to Marbella, Spain, and race in November. And I'm going to be shooting for top 5 there too. I mean, like, why not? I'm going to give it everything I got. Hopefully I can have a new bike by then. But if not, we'll just be rolling with the Venom. That's what I've been doing since 2019. It's a great bike. It rolls fast. And it'll even get even faster for the next go around. So, and that next race, I'll do Waterfront and some other local races. But the next Ironman races, I'm signed up for Ironman 70.3 Louisville, August 17th. So, if you want to do a race, come on out. And yeah, we'll have fun. I promise you, there's no person that has more fun than me at races. That's it. That is it. So, and if you see me out there, please say hi. I love to talk to people. I'm a very social person. I live here by myself. It's me and my dog. He can't talk, unfortunately. And so, yeah, I'm a social person. So if you see me, please say hi. Anyway, that's all I got, guys. I appreciate everybody watching. And hopefully I didn't make too many people fall asleep. So don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, do all those cool things on YouTube. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.